Good morning, Friday, September 19th. We're back with another MLB breakdown. We have ourselves a wild little slate here with 15 games. I'll tell you what, I am absolutely ecstatic for this weekend. I truly am ecstatic for this weekend. NFL has just been going way above expectations, and I can't wait for more NFL to come around. Yesterday, we almost had a perfect prediction in the NFL, which was pretty outstanding. If you were looking at the site, which, by the way, I'm using right here, is called rudebets.com. Data analytics for sports, prediction modeling. If you haven't signed up yet, go ahead and do so right now with code RUDE for 25% off. But yesterday we had a projected score for Dolphins and Bills of 32 to 21. Go ahead and let me just double screen here for a second. 32 to 21. So, pretty much a perfect projection on a 31 to 21 final score. We had some amazing player prop projections as well. We had Devon Achane going for 32 receiving yards. He had 30. We had Jalen Waddle going for 42 receiving yards. He had 40. We had Tyreek Hill going for 51 or 50.5 receiving yards. He had 49. We had James Cook scoring a touchdown. We had Dalton Kincaid going for about 40 yards. He cleared that. It was just an outstanding day. And that brings the model up to, let me go ahead and look this up. So far on the year, the NFL, after last night's game, every game accounted for. Prediction-wise, we are tracking nicely here with a 21-12 record ATS for a 63% win rate, and straight up 25-8 on our predictions. 75, almost 76% correct, straight up 25-8 record for the model. So, very excited for NFL this weekend, but that's not why we're here right now. We're going to be going over today's MLB slate, which, starting out with Game 1, Braves-Tigers. If you haven't dropped a follow yet, make sure you drop a follow. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe. And yeah, very excited to dive on into this slate with y'all. Let me just go ahead quickly before we get too deep into this. Tweet out that I'm live so we can get some viewers in here. We are live on Twitch and TikTok at the moment. Alrighty. There we go. And yeah, let's dive right on in. Braves-Tigers for the first game of the day today in the MLB. Let's see what we're looking at. Braves-Tigers. Braves are a slight underdog here. Tigers are favored, but I don't think there's much value on the Tigers today at the minus 120 mark. If we look through this game, we got Bryce Elder going up against Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton here. We're looking at a 3.46% home run rate for him, 3.46% of batters faced. He allows a home run too. Strikeouts per total batters faced, 22. Pretty decent, actually, for him. Better than you would expect for a guy in his 40s. Projecting him for about 6 strikeouts tonight up against Bryce Elder. Bryce Elder's numbers on the year, I think they're coming back around a little bit here. 3.34% home run per total batter faced. That's right on par with league average. Strikeouts a little low for him at 18% of batters faced. He's given up a hit to about 24% of batters. And, yeah, walks per total batters faced. Pretty in line with league average here as well. His runs per innings pitch is where he's really struggling, though. Negative 17% ballpark factor here for weather, so not anticipating a ton of pop. Still, that being said, with some of these home run rates, I mean, there are some options here for guys who could go deep. Specifically on the Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr., 17% chance to hit a home run here. 7.57 out of 10 on the pitch mix. How are we feeling with the Brew Crew making the World Series? Odasi, I'm going to worry about them winning a single playoff series before I get too concerned with the World Series, man, if we're being honest. I'd like them to just win a playoff series first. Yeah. Acuna's numbers here versus righties. Last 10 batted balls, 89 average exit velo, 50% hard hit rate. Last 20, same thing here. Last 5, 95% exit velo, 80% hard hit rate. So over his last 5 batted balls versus righty, he's hitting it pretty hard. Let's see. On the other side, guys who I think you can look out for today would be Kerry Carpenter or Riley Green, both with an 18% chance to hit a home run. Recent form for both of these guys versus righties. Hard hit 65% over his last 20 for Kerry Carpenter. Yeah, Kerry Carpenter's hitting it really well here. 20% barrel rate. Fly ball rate's decent. 50% home run to fly balls. So half of his fly balls in his last 10 at bats have been a home run. It's a very good, very good, very good data point. So outside of that, hits, runs, and RBIs, I think you could fall back on all three of those guys as well for that. Same with Matt Olson, who has been, I think he's hit a home run every day since. Let's just look at this real quick. Home run, triple, double, home run. So he has one on the 14th, he has one on the 15th, he has one on the 16th, and he has one on the 17th. So every single game since the 14th, Matt Olson has hit a home run. He also has one on the 13th. So he's hit a home run the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th. Wow. Yeah, Matt Olson's on an absolute generational heater right now, home run-wise. Absolutely insane. So another guy to look out for. I think he's also probably a good play today for hits, runs, and RBIs. And same with Jurickson Profar, too. He matches up pretty well. So, you got options. Colson been cold? Yeah, he's been cold, but that's fine. There's only, I mean, he hit a home run like 7 at-bats ago. 7 batted balls ago, I should say. Sorry, 7 batted balls ago. So, not that bad. Also, let me change the music here. Sorry, I don't want Creed playing. I don't know why that was on. Get some better vibes. All right. Go on to game 2, A's Pirates. Pirates, 51% chance to win. A's 49% chance. I like the A's in this one. I do like the A's in this one. Wealthy rising brother. I've never heard that greeting, but Dr. Green Montana, thank you for the wonderful greeting there. Wealthy rising brother. I'm gonna start using that. That's a good one. You're an Angels fan, like Bruce buys an Avalanche series every game in cash. There you go, Rising Jinx. How it goes. I like the A's in this matchup here. Luis Severino going up against Mitch Keller, a 50-50 game. Yeah, a true 50-50 game here, pretty much. We got, see what we're working with Severino. 17% strikeout rate, pretty low. Home run rate's pretty good, actually, at 2.43. Let's see. Walk rate's good. Hits are pretty average. Interesting numbers. I do like Kurtz today. I'm interested in Kurtz. I'm a little interested in Nick Kurtz today. Nothing absolutely crazy here, but the only problem is this weather. It's only negative 6% weather factor. It's not bad weather either for a home run in this game. It's really not terrible. Versus righties, Nick Kurtz, let's go last 10. 94 exit velo, 60% hard hit rate. That's really good. 40% home run to fly ball, 50% fly ball rate. So you can expect half his at-bats or half his batted balls to be a fly ball, which are great numbers here. So I don't mind him today, especially with this good pitch mix rating against Mitch Keller. The one downside you might argue here is Keller's home run rate, 2.54% of batters faced. That is pretty good. He does limit home runs much better than the league average righties. So I can see that side of it, but I do think overall, limited options today, limited options in September in general for home runs. I think Kurtz is a decent option today on the home run front. He is a decent option on the home run front. So do with that as you please, but that's kind of where my head's at with Kurtz there. On the Pirates, I mean, let's be honest. Who's taking Pirates player props at this time of year? I don't think anybody is. I really don't. But if you are, I mean, if you are, you are, I guess, right? Yo, Dreadful Pain, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate the follows. All right. Took Mariners, O's, Guardians, 3x trap. I think it's a pretty good chance. We'll see. We will see. Shea Langoliers today is decent. 13% chance. I'm nothing crazy here. Probably a decent play for hits, runs, RBIs. Numbers versus righties this year, pretty solid. 236 batting average, not great, but his total bases per hit are pretty good. He does have a homer against Mitch Keller. And versus righties, last 10, actually last 5, 94 exit velo, 91 over his last 10, and 94 over his last 20. So he's hitting the ball hard. He is hitting the ball hard. So Shea Langeliers could be another good option for hits, runs, and RBIs. Kurtz is definitely the number one in this game. We're going to skip the Pirates. There's not much to do with them. But I do like the A's in this game. Potentially a decently high-scoring game, too, around 9 runs total projected here. Something to consider. This one could be a 9-run game. 9 or more runs. So, Game 3, Cubs-Reds. Kind of, Court. It's more so... It's less about the number of players. It's more so about the way I build my models and like the philosophy I have for modeling out player props requires certain data points that you can't get for college football or college basketball. The good thing about modeling pro sports is every team, except for like the NFL, but for other sports, for like baseball, basketball, every team plays the same opponents. You can standardize certain metrics when you're modeling things out. In college, guys on Jacksonville State playing against Liberty versus guys on Georgia playing Alabama, you can't really standardize certain metrics to calculate certain things. Also, a lot of those data points do not exist. They're not as easily available. Pro sports databases, much more readily available. So, yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get to college player props, at least at this granular level of accuracy and detail. At least not anytime soon. Yo, CPMBM2X, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. Brewers' magic number is 6, clinch home field advantage through the playoffs. I think it's 4, isn't it? Well, it's 4 to clinch the division, which I think would in turn also clinch home field advantage. Oh, not through the playoffs. Yeah, right, because of the Phillies. That would just be to clinch home field advantage in the first round or the bye. But yeah, 6 to get it. Yeah, I like that. Anyways, in this game, Cubs-Reds, we're looking at Reds 45% chance, Cubs 55% chance to win this game. Shota Imanaga going up against Nick Lodolo. Yeah, I don't mind the Cubs in this one at 55%. You're getting pretty good value on that. 55, 4.25 to 3.90, so probably not a crazy high-scoring game here. 13% ballpark factor. The weather here in Cincinnati is actually more favorable than most of the ballparks today. So, hitters' weather in a hitter's ballpark today is not bad. Imanaga home run rate on the year, 5%. That's really tough. So watch out for home runs. Only problem, the Reds don't really hit home runs. Like, that's just the downsides. The Reds don't really hit home runs. So, Seiya Suzuki, when do you pause the music? I don't. Seiya Suzuki, 15% chance to hit one today. Let's see against Lodolo. 9 homers and 146 at bats. 2.00 total bases per hit. I don't mind these numbers against lefties, but Lodolo's numbers this year, 3.39. Oh, that's actually above. I thought his home run rate would be lower. I really thought his home run rate would be lower. It's higher than I expected. I mean, Suzuki is the best option on the Cubs today to hit a home run, but only 15% is a little lower than I'd want to be on. A little lower than I'd want to see. Let's see. We got, Sal Stewart. This is an interesting play. This is something interesting to look at. He only has 5 at bats, but let's see what he's done versus lefties. These are pretty crazy numbers. He only has, my bad, volume a little too high. I got to turn it down. I will tell you, I've been streaming this, the same volume level on music for pretty much daily for 3 months. You're the first person to mention it. Honestly, you're the first person to mention it. I'll turn it down. I just like to have the music on for my own personal. It helps me concentrate, I guess. I don't know. Gives me some background noise to think. If it's too silent, I can't concentrate. Four-seam fastball, changeups. He's seen everything, but still, 112, 95, 108, 60% hard hit rate, 99.53 average exit velo, 40% barrel rate. This might just be a Linsanity run, if we're being honest. Not sure. Might just be a Linsanity run. But pretty insane. So Sal Stewart could be a good long shot for homer today. Outside of that, I mean, Tyler Stevenson generally, historically does well versus lefties. But Game 4, Yankees, Orioles. How about Judge or Torkelson? We'll end up getting there. We're going into the Yankees game right now. I'll talk about it. If this ever loads, 1 second. Sometimes when I'm streaming on both TikTok and OBS, my internet just does that. Just lags really bad. But we're good now. It's back. So, Judge. Well, first of all, let's just look at this game. Yankees, Royals. Who's pitching here? We got Will Warren going up against Trevor Rogers. Oof. Trevor Rogers, man. I'll tell you what. This is a spot for the I have said it a million times, but whenever you see Trevor Rogers on the mound, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the Orioles winning that game. He at least gives them a shot. He'll at least keep them in the game for 5 innings. It's up to the Orioles offense to do something with it, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But at a minimum, Trevor Rogers is going to keep them in the game. So these numbers are insane. Strikeouts, I mean, for Trevor Rogers, not crazy. 24%. League average is 21%. But home run rate, he doesn't give up a home. Look at this home run rate. Less than 1% of batters he's faced all year have hit a home run. Less than 1%. That might be the best rate in the MLB. I can't think of anybody else that's under 1%, especially somebody that's pitched like the volume that he's pitched this year. So that immediately tells me I don't like any of the Yankees for a home run today. If 1 out of 100 batters hit a home run, less than 1 out of 100 batters, 7 out of every 100 batters hit a home run against him. Yeah, code RUDE, R-U-D-E, 7 Rust, R-U-D-E. That's an insane rate. This is just an insane rate. So Judge is the highest percent to hit a home run here at 10% chance, which is still 3% above Rogers' kind of average, right? Like if he's only allowing a home run to, that's actually way above. But yeah, home runs for the Orioles, not seeing too much here either. If we look at Will Warren, 2.85%. That's I mean, we're a little bit, our vision here on this one's a little bit tainted by Trevor Rogers being under 1%. But 2.85% home run rate is still outstanding. It's almost a full percent below the league average right-handed pitcher per total batter faced. So if you do 1% across, say he faces 25 batters, that's 25% less than the average pitcher. So still a very good pitcher at limiting home runs. Will Warren there. So I can't say that I'm that interested in the Orioles hitting home runs either. This just doesn't feel like a home run game. On top of that, the weather here's not bad, 6%. But mainly, I like the chance that the Orioles have in this game. Trying to score on Rodgers is a challenge. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, the O's are going to get their. It's up to their offense to do something today, which I think Gunnar, Dylan Beavers, Holiday, I think they're all in a good position to get a hits, runs, and RBIs. Like, I think these guys are in a position to make something happen. They just got to come through. O's are in a really good spot today. Baltimore first 5 could be a play right here. Right here. First 5 runs, 2.73 for Baltimore. Yankees, I have them at about 1. So you can go, first 5 for the Orioles. I think the Orioles all around look pretty darn good today. Are they at Yep, they are at Baltimore. It is more lefty friendly, although they did fix the ballpark this year so that righties, it's not as bad. I mean, last year it was horrible. That wall change, I mean, it was insane, that wall change. I think Rogers do 7 strikeouts. I don't. Personally, I don't. I mean, if you look at, the Yankees strike out the 3rd most in the MLB. But Rogers he doesn't have that high of a strikeout rate. He's not a huge strikeout guy. So, I can see him getting maybe to around 6. We haven't projected for 5.95. It's going to depend how deep he goes into the game. We have him going for about 6 innings, 17.5 outs. But no home run plus 950. I mean, maybe. The only thing that scares me on that high is the weather is pretty favorable. 6% boost in home run probability for the weather here. So the weather, I mean, if somebody gets a hold of a meatball, I mean, that's always the factor, right? Is like one of these pitchers, while they both have really good home run rates, like they could still throw a meatball. Like there still is a chance there's a ball right down the middle someone gets a hold of. It only takes one bad pitch. It really only takes one bad pitch. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty good game. I like the O's in it. Holiday, Beavers, Gunnar, Henderson, these guys at the top of the order all are in pretty decent spots. Beavers I really like, actually. Do you think the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs after the struggles now Cleveland's playing? I mean, that's going to be a tight little race there, honestly. I do think Cleveland's running out of time, but it's close. But here's Beavers, last 10, 90 exit velo, 20% hard hit rate. I mean, these aren't, it's really his last 5 that's kind of jumping off the page. He has a triple and a home run in his last 5 at-bats. Sorry, last 5 batted balls. Difference, batted balls versus at-bats. At-bats, you could strike out and it's not counted in this data. But if you bat the ball into play, this is what this data is. So, interesting, but I like the O's today. I really do. Nationals, Mets. Mets are a heavy favorite here. Honestly, I don't think they should be. Andrew Alvarez versus Brandon Sproat. This is just in my opinion, this is a ridiculous game. For people like me who model games, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare of a game. We got 2 pitchers who have almost no data. 2 pitchers with almost no data. Like, just pretty much impossible. Fading Yankees? Yeah, I would. I probably will today. So, what the heck? Where did my music go, man? Y'all can hear the music. I can't hear the music. That's unfortunate. I guess I'll just pause it since it's not going to work. Sometimes I don't know, I think my speakers are starting to, take a crap. Anyways, this game is a modeling nightmare. I don't really want to talk about it too much because I can't really give you guys a good read on it because there's 2 pitchers with not enough data. Like, we just don't have the numbers for these guys to accurately predict what's going to happen. There's just not enough. So, just not enough. Game 6, Red Sox, Rays. Garrett Crochet going up against Drew Rasmussen. I like this pitching matchup. I really do. The line's pretty tight, too, honestly. Rasmussen slept on. People are just going to assume Crochet. Because he's a, Cy Young, probably the Cy Young winner in the AL, that they're going to be just a dominant force here. But I honestly think this is going to be close and low scoring. It's going to be a very close and low scoring game. I don't anticipate a lot of offense. If we look at these pitch mix ratings, right? So pitch mix rating, for those of you who don't know, you can see it right here, but this is just quantifying the matchup for the batter versus the pitcher from a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being horrible, 10 being the best possible matchup the batter can have. This guy, he has a 3.13. Jarren Duran, it's a tough matchup, as you can see right there. We're taking into account the types of pitches that the pitcher throws, how often they throw them, and then what is called the runs above average for the batter and for the pitcher with that pitch. So in this case, like, Drew Rasmussen has a better fastball than Duran hits fastballs because he's, got 1.29 runs above average and Duran has 6.66. So in general, we're just quantifying all of this data and how frequently they throw a pitch to give you a matchup rating. Now, when we look at these matchup ratings, I like to look for at least a 5. Like, I really want to see at least a 5 out of 10 for a batter. We don't have a single 5 out of 10 here against Rasmussen. And then against Crochet, we don't have a single 5 out of 10 against Crochet. Well, Carson Williams does, but his data is skewed because he's got 22 at-bats versus lefties only. He probably has he has a insane, look at this, right? 36 runs above average against a cutter. Like, that's going to throw everything out of sync here and give him a 10 out of 10 matchup, but he's probably hit. Let's just look at this. Let's look at his cutter. Let's look at what he's done against cutters. Yeah, he has one batted ball with a cutter and it's a home run. So, you see, it's kind of skewed. Obvious, it's very skewed because we're taking into account that he has just one home run against a cutter, against a lefty. So, if you just consider that a skewed data point, there's not a single batter here that has a good matchup. I mean, Junior Caminero is obviously a very good hitter against anybody. And Crochet's home run rate, 2.88. It's about average, just under average. Decent. His strikeout rate's what he's really excelling in. Really, really high strikeout rate. 31% of batters strike out. His line today is 7.5. I haven't projected for 8. Personally, I don't like those types of like really high strikeout lines. One bad inning, it's over. So I'm just not a huge fan of it. Overall, yeah, this game I just would stay away from pretty much everything. It's going to be low scoring and probably high strikeouts. So not a ton there for me. But if y'all like nerfing guys, that's a good game to nerf. Game 7, Padres, White Sox. White Sox has a heavy dog today. Dylan Cease going up against Davis Martin. Let's jump into Dylan Cease. He's going to have a high strikeout rate. Yeah, 29.82%. Pretty interesting. Home run rate's 3% for him. Pretty high. His walk rate's a little high too, 9.79. He's struggling with walks. Hits, honestly, not as good as you'd expect out of Dylan Cease. He's giving up hits to almost 22% of batters. You'd rather have Trevor Rogers than Crochet as your ace if you're starting a franchise. Wow. I don't know if I can justify that. That's crazy. Look, they're both great, though. They're both great, but that's a wild take. I don't know how many guys you could take over Crochet at this point. Cease strikeouts, he probably puts up 7 today, I'd say. We haven't projected for 7.87. I always like to round down on these numbers. So 7 today for Crochet, 16 outs. Yeah. Possible home runs here. Gavin Sheets against Davis Martin. Gavin Sheets is the number 1 guy here at a 15% chance. He's got that 4.17 pitch mix rating. Nothing crazy here, but not horrible. Padres are the most disappointing team. Probably they just don't have any chemistry. That's the thing I feel like. There is really good home run weather here. 18% boost here in Chicago. So wind must be blowing out a little bit. Colson Montgomery, a guy that you can see on my home run play today. 234 batting average versus righties. That's really bad, but he has 2.38 total bases per hit versus righties. Anything above 2 total bases per hit is an outstanding power metric. That means every time he gets a hit, the average number of bases he gets off that one hit is 2.38, so better than a double. He's averaging better than a double per hit versus righties, which is insane. Last 20, 91 exit velo, but last 10, 86. He is trending downwards versus righties on the StatCast. Last 5, only 83% average exit velo. Definitely trending downwards. But his numbers are so good that, I mean, you can still see he's got 101, 107. He still has some barrels built in here. He has 2 barrels in his last 10 batted balls. Most of the time, a barrel's a home run. All you have to get right is the launch angle. Both of these barrels, he was just slightly below. You want to be around like 20, 25% for a home run. 25 degrees for a home run. He was at 18 and 14, so a little low. But he's still hitting it pretty well with 2 barrels. I'm not afraid of taking Colson Montgomery for a home run today. People are sick of him. I just think, given the data we have today, you're not going to find many better options, honestly. And you're going to get good value because he's going up against Dylan Cease. So the market's going to say he's not going to do anything. I don't like him for general props. I would not be on Colson Montgomery to get a hit today. Now, that's probably a bad play. But for a long shot for a home run, he's not terrible. And overall, the White Sox to steal this game, while unlikely, it is definitely an interesting read. Davis Martin here. 3.60 home run rate. That's a little high. Strikeouts are a little low. Hits are average. Walks are a little average, but I think you can keep him in the game. Might as well take Ellie too. Colson's way better than Ellie in terms of home run production over the last month. Colson Montgomery is insane. He's had a rough 10 batted ball stretch. He's had a rough week of baseball, I'd say, after being red hot for 3 weeks. Game 8, Blue Jays Royals. Jays Royals here. Royals are a heavy dog. Honestly, I like the Jays in this one. 59% chance to win this game. I do like Ellie 3 homers in the last 78 games. Exactly. Comparing Colson to Ellie as a home run play, disrespectful to Colson. Wildly disrespectful to Colson. I do like the Blue Jays in this game. Max Scherzer going up against Michael Lorenzen. Yeah, Scherzer's old, but I like how these guys match up against Lorenzen. Look at these pitch mix ratings. 7, 6.86, 7.23. A lot of guys hovering right around that 5 range. 7.22, 6.23. yeah, I do like how the Blue Jays match up. Lorenzen home run rate here 3.96. It is worse than the league average, not by much, but it is worse. Springer 318 batting average versus righties. I got him going for a little over a hit. 2.75 hits, runs, RBIs. Those are decent metrics. Power versus righties. He is getting 1.76 total bases per hit. That's solid. Last 10 at bats. 82. Okay, so he's trending pretty downward on the StatCast data here. Oh my gosh. Last 5 batted balls for Springer, 74 exit velo. Now, this is someone that I would say is cold. This is someone that I would say is red or ice cold. Sorry. So, Springer today, I'd be more inclined to be looking at Springer for general props like total bases or hits, runs, and RBIs. Home run probability only a 15% chance today. I think Springer is much more viable today to get like a hit. I wouldn't be on him for a homer. Same with Vladdy. Varsho, this is going to be a guy you guys are going to compare to Colson Montgomery. Can Matt Olson keep going? I mean, he's hit a home run 7 days in a row, 6 days in a row. I don't know, man. That's tough. But I think he still does well. Varsho is going to be very similar to Colson Montgomery on the StatCast. This number is dropping, but this is insane. Total bases per hit versus righties 2.63. That's probably the highest in the MLB for any single split versus hand for total bases per hit. I think Varsho has the highest rate. It's higher than Ohtani. It's higher than Schwarber. It's higher than Judge. Higher than Cal Raleigh. There's nobody that has more total bases per hit versus a single-handed pitcher than Varsho. So, he's always an insanely good home run play. He has a home run in over 10% of at-bats versus righties this year, but he's trending in the wrong direction as well. 83 exit velo over his last 5. But over his last 10, still pretty hard. 40% hard hit, 70% fly ball. That's a huge metric if you're looking at home runs. You want to see him get the ball in the air. 70% fly ball rate's really good. Only problem is he's not barreling it up really as much as you'd want to see. Now, this one doesn't make sense to me. 101 exit velo, 31 launch angle, only went 355. I don't know what happened here. Maybe the wind was blowing in, but usually with these two metrics, that ball's going at least 380. At least 380. That could have been a home run, but something happened there where it only went 355. Maybe it was a ball that would just, I don't know. But, yeah, I like Varsho today as a long shot, and I also like Davis Schneider as a long shot. People are talking about Salvador Perez in the chat. Salvi today, 3.51 on the pitch mix. I don't like how he matches up against Scherzer specifically. He is 2 for 5 with a homer. 5 at-bats is a really small sample size. I don't think that's enough to say, like, oh, he dominated Scherzer. And this is over the last 3 seasons. There's no reason looking beyond 3 seasons. Versus righties, last 5, 89 exit. Last 10, 87 exit. Nothing's jumping off the page StatCast-wise. 88 over the last 20. There's just really nothing that's jumping off for me for Salvador Perez. He does have a 100% home run to fly ball rate, but that's because he only has 2 fly balls in his last 10. Yeah, his fly ball rate's really low at 20%. So I'm not a huge fan of Salvi. I'm not really a huge fan of anybody on the Royals today. So, you like the ex-Mets Blue Jays to win it all? Yeah, good. Game 9, Marlins Rangers. Marlins Rangers. I like the Rangers heavy in this one. I really do. I really like the Rangers in this one. 65% chance to win. Jansen Junk going against Tyler Mahle. Mahle not too much here. What other MLs are like? I don't know. I'd have to look back at the board. Young Dom, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. On Twitch, thank you. Mahle's numbers are good, man. Low home run rate. Hits are pretty low. Walk rate's average. Runs per innings pitched is low. Not a strikeout guy, though. He's not really a strikeout guy. You going to be tweeting a home run list? Probably not. My home run play that I'm taking, it's too late in the year to be really heavy on home runs. Like the weather's turning. It's not as good of a time for home runs anymore. But if you can look at the bottom of the screen, the ticker that's going across that text, that's the only home run play I'm going to take today. But we'll look at the full leaderboard once I get through all these games. So probably about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, we're going to look at the whole home run leaderboard. In this one, though, against Mahle, not really a huge fan of any of these guys hitting a home run. Overall, this entire game, not really a big home run game. Marcy's probably pretty good for general props today, but not a home run guy. Overall, I think the Rangers to win this game is a better play. Jock Peterson home run? Yeah. I don't know how you do that, but oh man, hold on. We got the internet bug again. Jeez. My PC is getting old, man. 5 years old now. A little over 5 years old. So when I'm running multiple programs like Spotify and Twitch and TikTok and all this stuff, it just sometimes it'll just hang up like this. Just gotta wait it out. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Jock here. His last 10's pretty good. Fly ball's just so low. He's hitting it in the ground or line drives. A lot of line drives. He's hitting it hard, 70% hard hit rate, but it's not going up. It's just line drives. 80% line drive or ground ball. Only 10% fly, 10% pop. Who's pitching? Jansen Junk. Jansen Junk, 1.98% home run rate. Really low. Really, really low. Although that number has gone up, but only a 175 batting average versus righties too. So not a huge fan of Jock. I mean, that would just be like a gut feel if you're going to take that. Like I said, not too much in this game for me other than I like the Rangers to win. I also like the Blue Jays a lot too, King Mar. You asked who I like. Woo, generational game today. Mariners versus Astros. 6.64 total runs projected. There's going to be not a single player prop in this game probably for batters. Woo versus Hunter Brown. Yeah, this is a disaster of a game offensively, in my opinion. 50-50 game on the line. 50-50 game here on my site. Pretty much nothing. Pretty much nothing. Woo for 6 strikeouts. Brown for about 7. A lot of really bad pitch mixes. These guys do not match up well against these pitchers. The best guy here is Jeremy Pena at a 4.77. So, yeah, this is brutal. 6.64 total runs. 7.5 line, favor to the under. Yeah, there's just nothing in that game unless you're looking at pitcher props. But another good pitcher day. I mean, most of these games are going to have pretty solid pitching matchups. Negative 1% weather factor here in Guardians Twins. We do like the Guardians. 60% chance to win this game. However, yeah, Guardians today actually look pretty good. To be honest with you, I don't know how the Twins are favored here. Pablo Lopez, yeah, he's a good pitcher, but he hasn't pitched much this year. Still rocking the Mariners on a mission. Yeah, it's a 50-50 line, Papa, so it's 50-50. It's a pick'em. Complete 50-50. But yeah, in this one, Guardians, they're fighting for a playoff spot. Twins have nothing to play for. I don't know how I feel like you got to rock with the Guardians today. Like they have something to play for. Their season's kind of on the line. They can't really afford to lose many more games here. They just can't. Parker Messick, I know I remember a lot of y'all were high on this guy when he first started pitching, like his second start. His strikeout rates dropped dramatically, which I thought was going to happen. It was like a 40% strikeout rate. He's not a strikeout guy. He's just not a strikeout guy. 18% strikeout rate, that's not great. But he is pretty good at limiting home runs and limiting runs. I like the Guardians to win this game. Neither of these teams are huge powerhouse teams for home runs, especially against a guy like Messick with such a good home run rate. Guardians need to win this game to make the playoffs, so yeah, you just ride with the Guardians in this one and you keep it simple. No need to get fancy with player props here. No need to guess who's going to do something for the Guardians. They don't match up that well against Pablo Lopez anyway. Probably another very low-scoring game, 6.67 runs again. Line of 7.5 again. Yeah, for me, it's just Guardians here. They got to win. They got to win. Angels-Rockies, this is going to be your home run game. This is going to be where all the homers are happening. This is where all the lines for home runs are going to be. This is where the Angels win this game. Mitch Ferris, not much data on him. Bradley Blaylock, pretty awful, 6% home run rate. This is probably the highest home run rate you're going to see for a guy that's qualified. You're not going to see a much higher home run rate than this, especially when you consider the fact that this game is in Colorado. So 24% increase in home run probability based on the weather in the ballpark. Take your pick for a home run here. Look at all these probabilities. 31, 36, 31, 41, 22, 12, 14. Angels for a home run against Blaylock is insane. Insane. So I like Taylor Ward. I like Joe Adell. I like Yoan Moncada. I like Mike Trout. Pretty much these four. Insane. Insane. Guardians nose. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Pray the O's offense has your back today, Papa. Pray the O's offense has your back. Trevor Rogers will have your back, but will the O's offense? I hope so. But yeah, home runs in this game. Rengifo, not a huge fan of Rengifo. He's all right. He did hit one yesterday. I think today, Yoan Moncada is probably the best value play. Joe Adell, the best overall play. But Rengifo, yeah, I just think there's better options on this team. But yeah. Honestly, though, for the Rockies, Hunter Goodman. Hunter Goodman probably goes deep here, too. Like, this is just an overall great game for batter props. High run scoring game. Yeah. This should be a take anybody on either team for any offensive prop, and you have a good shot. So games like that sometimes can be the hardest ones, though, because there's so many good options that obviously not everybody's going to hit. You got to just hope the guys you take do. You don't trust the Orioles' bats? Yeah. Kerry C is decent. Nick Kurtz, yeah, they're both decent today. Those aren't bad options today. Brewers, Cardinals. I think Brewers are fair value here today. 55% chance to win. 45% chance for the Cardinals. Sonny Gray versus Mizorowski. How does Orioles, Guardians, Rangers, Angels, and Blue Jays sound? It sounds good. It sounds good on paper. Could be a 2-1 Yankees win. It could be. It could be. That's why I said Trevor Rogers will have your back. It's just, is the O's offense. Is the O's offense. Negative 3% weather factor here in this game. Mizorowski, honestly, I think Mizorowski is going to do really well on strikeouts today. His line has come down to 5.5, and I think that's a pretty good spot for him. Mizorowski strikeouts today could be pretty good. Sonny Gray strikeouts also could be pretty good. Both should get about 6 today at least. I don't love this game for home runs. I don't really love this game for player props. Look at these pitch mix ratings. Not great against Sonny. Not great against Miz. So, Mizorowski, yeah, he's been giving up some runs, but it stems from walks. His walks have been his weakness, 10% walk rate. Still 33% strikeout rate. Home run rate still below league average. Hits are way below league average. It's his walks that are his problem. So, yeah, Mizorowski can avoid some walks today, and he should be pretty good. He'll probably have one bad inning. Yo, Styles, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. Yeah, Brewers fair value, pitcher strikeouts. I probably don't touch any batters in this game. Game 14, Phillies D-backs. Another kind of must-win scenario here. Phillies need to win this one. They are an underdog. I have them with a 44% chance to win. D-backs 56%. Ryan Nelson going up against Taijuan Walker. Yeah, this one does favor the D-backs. It does. 56% chance. Who do you think homers in the O's game? Honestly, nobody. Both pitch. I don't. There's no data to support anybody as a good home run play in that game, Styles. Both pitchers have a really low home run rate. So, Schwarber, not great. 16% chance to hit a home run. Nothing crazy there. Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll, I do think these guys have good shots today for home runs. I like both pitch mixes, 6.17, 7.06. Taijuan Walker, this is the worst pitcher on the Phillies. Really low strikeout rate. Home run rate's a little bit above average. So gives up more home runs than average. Hits, he gives up more hits than average. His walk rate's decent, but we're being completely honest here. Yeah, the Phillies don't look too great. Do not look too great. So I'm pretty keen on Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll having good days today. For kind of anything. Home run, total bases, hits, runs, RBIs, kind of any route. I think these two guys look pretty good. So Yeah. Yeah, I think you can go in on some D-backs batters today. I really do. Perdomo even looks really good too. Not for a home run, but for hits, runs, RBIs. Perdomo 7.1 on the pitch mix. Yeah, they all look pretty good. And Nelson, 21% strikeout rate. That's better than average. Home run rate's better than average. Hits rate's better than average. Walk rate's way better than average. Yeah, Nelson's a solid pitcher. So you'd be banking on Nelson and then a couple of these guys to do well against Walker. And then the last game of the day, Giants Dodgers. Dodgers 50. It's a 50-50 game. Dodgers are way too favored on the line, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the Dodgers are way, 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 way too heavy of a favorite today. But my opinion, Robbie Ray, he's very hit or miss on the mound. Strikeout rate's decent. Home run rate's pretty good, actually. Hits rate's pretty good. Walk rate's average. But he's just very hit or miss. He has good starts. He has really bad starts. Against the Dodgers, I mean, these guys' pitch mixes aren't that great. I don't see player props that jump off the page here. Kind of for both teams. Rafael Devers is the best at a 5.51, but home run probabilities don't look great here. I don't see much in this game. I think the Giants are a good underdog. That's all I really can see here. I think the Giants have some it's a 50-50 game. This could go either way. The Dodgers aren't that, they've been struggling over the last month. So I do think the Dodgers are in a vulnerable spot today. A vulnerable spot. So not too much in this one for player props, in my opinion. At least, there's obviously going to be hits, runs, and RBIs. There's going to be guys who hit certain lines. The data doesn't support any of them as being a good play. So, yeah, that's all 15 games. If we look at the projected leaderboard here, not to anybody's surprise, the home run probabilities are flooded with Angels. You got Joe Adell, Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, Yoman Kana, Logan O'Hoppe. It's just flooded. The top of the leaderboard's flooded with these Angels. We're not surprised by it, though. Hunter Goodman's even up there. Colson Montgomery's up there in the top 10. Nick Kurtz here is just outside of the top 10. Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll. There's a pretty big drop-off under the 20% range. You've seen this now for probably 2 weeks where the leaderboard, we used to see 20 to 30 guys with a 20% chance in July and June. Now you're seeing maybe 10 guys with a 20% chance to hit a home run. And you see it in real life, too. You go look at the home run stats for the day. You go look at how many home runs are hit on a given day. It's dropped from 30 home runs in a day, 35 home runs in a day. Now we're looking at like 15 to 20 at most. The home run numbers are tanking. You see it here in the data, in the projections. It's not a surprise. Total bases, yeah, Nick Kurtz is number 1 for total bases. Nick Kurtz is two for total bases, number 1 for hits, runs, and RBIs. Hit Machine Horner is up there for hits, runs, and RBIs. Buxton, Springer, Goodman, Bellinger, Carey. See a lot of these guys here projected at the top for the hits, runs, and RBIs leaderboard. For strikeouts, we don't see many green matchups today. Hunter Brown's a green matchup in the top 10. Will Warren's a green matchup in the top 10. And Trevor Rogers is a green matchup in the top 10. Gray, Wu, and Mizrowski all have red matchups. But Mizrowski does have a good line based on that. Hey, I appreciate that, Bully. I appreciate that. Very kind message. Thank you. Crochet sitting here with a mid matchup, 11th, 14th matchup for Cease. So nothing crazy. Hits allowed, Messick, Blaylock, Elder all should get smoked for hits. And pitching outs, I think Imanaga goes deep today. 6 innings for him. Brown and Crochet and Wu, all these guys flirting with 6 innings as well. Any nerfies? I don't take the nerfies, man. I think you're at the biggest disadvantage out of any line on the board with a nerfie because it's a scripted sequence. And the books will always have the most data when it's scripted in terms of what pitcher is facing what batters. The books can model that out way better than anybody. They have unlimited data to poke from for the pitcher versus the batters, and there's never really a good line for nerfies. I think it's a terrible, 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 terrible investment. So you can look at nerfies if you're on the site here and you go to the projected scores and you click on a game, you can see what the modeled price is for it, right? We can see nerfie right here, 50% chance in this game. But I just think they're terrible overall. Just given how much of a disadvantage anybody has over the long run. Who gets shelled today? Blaylock is number 1 to get shelled. Blaylock is number 1 to get shelled against the Angels. So yeah, And then lastly, if we just look at pitch mix ratings, you're going to see Carson Williams at the top. It's not really real. Profar, Moncada, Adele, Acuna, Trout. Once again, a ton of Angels. Bringers up there. A couple Blue Jays and a lot of Angels. So those are the best batter matchups today based on the pitch mix. So we got some options today, man. I hope today's stream helped people out. This video is going to go up on YouTube if you guys missed the stream, or if you guys want to come back and relook at anything that I talked about or look at any of the data points. The stream is going up on YouTube. Also, you can go to rudebets.com and sign up to get access to these models. There's one for NFL, college football, MLB. All of the models are on the site. Access to the Discord as well. But I'm ending the stream now. Get this uploaded on YouTube. Thank you all for hanging out. Peace out and have a good day.